Hello. I am coming at you midweek with a super special, super informal video. As you can see, like, I didn't even clean up my office. I'm in the middle of filming a course, so we've got things going on. Nyla is just freaking out, but what else is new in life? So I'm coming at you because today TPT announced that it has been bought by IXL. Well, TPT announced that they're joining the IXL family, but that means they've been bought out by IXL. So IXL, if you don't know, is an online educational resource. I don't use it because I teach music, but I know that like my school uses it, so I am, at least like I've heard of it before. But yeah, so it says the press release, which I will leave down below, says IXL Learning acquires Teachers Pay Teachers, the world's largest platform for educator created content. In the article, that gives you like no helpful information, although I was interested to find out that IXL owns Rosetta Stone, vocabulary.com, SpanishDictionary.com, English.com, ABCYA, and some other things I've never heard of, but they own quite a bit of things, and so that was interesting. Joe, our TPT CEO, is no longer CEO. The CEO of IXL, whose name is Paul Mishkin, is now the CEO of TPT because he's the CEO, you know, of the company. TPT now is under the company, and so lots of things are up in the air right now. At the current moment, that's basically all that any of us know. So there's gonna be a webinar on March 6th. I wanted to make this video to make sure that you go watch said webinar, because in whatever webinar they're going to at least tell us something, or we might at least get to say hi, and they usually do Q&As at the end. So even though I'm anticipating it being a lot of like, oh, we love TPT and we want to keep things the same, and maybe not being super helpful, I still would suggest that you go. They usually send a replay afterwards, so if you can't watch it when it's happening, you can watch it after. I'll be doing that because I'll be at choir when it's happening. So I'll be watching the replay afterwards, and that's totally fine. But in general, try to go to the webinars because they keep you informed, but especially this one is especially important. I would definitely go. Some of the team TPT has posted in the forums and things like that, and they seem fairly positive. I get the impression that none of them knew about it as well, which is pretty normal for a merger, for it to just, mergers always feel like they come out of the blue, even though technically they don't, but it's one of those things where like you don't really tell people until it happens. And so because of that, it feels, you know, really shocking to all of us. My 2 cents about the situation is that if they're acquiring TPT, it's because they like TPT. So I would assume that they're not gonna like completely change all of TPT, because that would be dumb. I do anticipate changes coming with this, because anytime there's a merger, anytime there's, you know, something like this, especially new CEO, new things, they're gonna want to change things, and they're gonna have their own vision, and they're gonna want to, you know, make that vision come true. I don't know what that vision is, so I don't know what those things would be, but I would say go ahead and prepare yourself mentally for changes to come, because they're coming, is the short answer. Yes, even more changes to come. I don't know what those changes will be. Hopefully they're good. They could potentially be bad. They could be neutral. I don't know, because I don't know what they are yet. But just like mentally think about that now and think like, okay, what's that? I would not lose my mind, shut down my store, do any of that kind of stuff. But I would continue to stick with whatever plan you made, and maybe also build in a backup plan if you don't already have one. So if you don't have a blog or don't have an email list, I would definitely start that, especially if you don't have an email list. Actually, this week's video is gonna be about email lists. I would definitely start your email list if you have not done so. If you have an email list, I would be promoting it, because that's something you own, and we don't own TPT. IXL now owns TPT, and we don't know what that means, and it could be great. Hopefully it's great. I'm crossing my fingers and, you know, doing all those things, but we don't know yet. So I would definitely make sure that's happening, and maybe consider alternate things, maybe having a different like a secondary revenue source. So whether that is, you know, oh, you're doing online tutoring or a YouTube channel, you don't make that much money. Actually, I wouldn't suggest that unless you're using it to promote your products, as a revenue source at least. Or, you know, like think like, okay, is there another revenue source that I can kind of start building up just in case the changes are not favorable? Potentially thinking about selling on other platforms. Again, I would not just stop on TPT. I would not just give up on it because we don't know what's going to happen yet. But just start thinking, what can I do to make my business strong and make sure that my business is going to stand the test of whatever is to come? As of right now, that's pretty much all I've got for you because there's not been very much other information released. As I said, it got released like today, but I wanted to get this to you ASAP in case you're like me and don't check your email as much as you should have, because I know that because Kayla, my Facebook groups manager, texted me and was like, did you see this? And I was like, what are you talking about? I was like at school trying to call someone's parents because she wasn't picked up, and it was like 30 minutes after school was over. It was a whole big thing. So, yeah. I don't know. I do know that the TPT, I do know that the TPT conference is still going on. The reason I know that is because I actually am presenting this year at the TPT conference. I'm not sure yet if I'm gonna be there in person or not. I will make some sort of announcement so that you know either way, but there will definitely be a virtual session, possibly an in-person session. I'm not sure yet, but we got emails that said, hey, just so you know, the conference is still happening. Hi. So that we, you know, didn't totally freak out and stuff. So that's pretty much all I got for you today. I wish that I, you know, had all the answers and could tell you all the things, but as of this moment, that's literally all I know. So yeah, that's all I got. You can leave questions below, but I'm not gonna know the answer to them until after the webinar. And after the webinar, I will probably make another video with a little bit more information if we get any information in the webinar. So expect changes, think of some backup plans, but don't totally jump ship. Don't totally lose your mind, but do be smart. That's my story. Okay. That's all I got. I'm gonna edit this, I'm gonna post it, and I'm gonna go eat some dinner. I don't even know how to close this out, 'cause I'm like, I don't know. Fingers crossed the changes are good.